Hey, Weather Weenies, good Saturday morning. Let's take a look at what's going on long term. Let's talk about the forecast for New England for the entire week and maybe the next one. So if you want to look at the forecast on your own like a meteorologist, what you have to do is go to weather.gov, click where you live, and then find the forecast discussion tab. And that's what we're going to go over here real quickly. So slightly drier weather is expected today. Great, but there's going to be plenty of showers around too, and I'll actually show you what the forecast model says about that. Drier and warmer conditions return for tonight and early on Sunday, but that's as long as it lasts, unfortunately. Then we're going to have some showers move back in Sunday night, but not for all locations. I'll show you exactly where that's going to be. Then high pressure builds in early next week. That'll be great with mostly sunny skies, a warming trend, still some isolated chances of showers I see in there. But then cooler conditions with mainly rain expected late next week as low pressure drops to the south, and things are actually going to cool off a little bit. So let's step through what the HRRR is saying for today. You're going to just see some isolated showers kind of popping up, and there's kind of two types of storms we see here. We see a little bit of convective isolated pop-up showers, and then we see this more like stratiform blah kind of stuff. So, what you're going to get is just really isolated quick downbursts from this. And this is more of that dreary, drizzly kind of stuff. But you see it really evaporates out here as it crosses into Vermont and goes through the higher elevations, and then it clears out. But here we go. Here we see on Sunday where that rain's coming through. So it's going to be a little more convective in nature, heavier showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder through southern New England as this line passes through, where it's going to be just a little bit more dreary, drizzly, cloudy, spotty showers on Sunday through the northern part. Winds are also going to pick up just a smidge as this comes through and as we look at it this weekend. Let me show you where. All right, so it's not bad right now. It is going to pick up a little bit as the day progresses, and then as we start to see in those higher elevations, it's like kind of the usual suspects here, right? The whites, the ones here, the mountains here in southern Vermont and western Mass. But then it does clear out, and then things look really good. So just expect one more little peak here to come. It's going to be overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning, like while we're sleeping, and then that's it. There's very few wind advisories out there. They're few and far between. They're from 2 p.m. this afternoon until about midnight. West winds 15 to 25 miles an hour with gusts possible up to about 50 in the higher elevations. Temperatures are going to stay kind of in the mild side, 40s to 50s today, and they're not going to get a whole lot warmer because of the winds increasing and just those scattered and isolated showers. Just doesn't allow for a lot of heating. Sunday, though, temperatures will pick up a little bit more into the 50s and 60s, but then that rain moves through in the afternoon to kind of spoil it. That rain and stuff that moves through could also provide some snow flurries, but at the highest of elevations. And then after that, we dry out, but there's still some isolated little chances, little blurbs I'm seeing. It's kind of northwesterly flow. It's a little bit drier, but temperatures should be nice, and it actually should be a pretty nice start to the week. All right, so here's this low that's kind of giving us the shenanigans now. Then we see that secondary rain move through on Sunday, and things clear out pretty nicely, but there's just a few little blurbs, a few little splotches, a few couple little things we see. And then the next substantial amount of rain doesn't look like it moves through until Thursday or maybe Friday. The forecast models all agree that something is coming through at the end of the work week. And keep in mind how many days ahead we're looking. We're 7 days out now. So we can't give a lot of details about what it is, but I'm just expecting springtime rain. So checking out my favorite weather graph here. This is just Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm kind of trying to find a centralized location. Low 50s, some isolated showers, winds gently increasing, but nothing crazy here, kind of peaking overnight. Tomorrow, same thing. We see the rain that moves through in the afternoon. Temperatures get near 60. Monday warming up nicely, low 60s. Same thing on Tuesday. Winds picking up a little bit. Sky cover will generally be pretty good, but once again, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a few isolated showers in the mix. Wednesday looking good. This is indicating maybe those showers are going to be coming through Wednesday night into Thursday. It's going to cool things off. We'll just kind of have to wait a little bit to see how this timing plays out. And because things are fairly calm and normal for once, let's take a look at the Climate Prediction Center to see what we can see or kind of expect long term. What's the end of April going to look like? So seeing some cooler conditions through the upper Midwest for the 18th through the 22nd. We're looking to be about normal and, maybe a little more precip than normal as well. If we take that out one step further, though, and we're looking at the 20th through the 26th, which is the following week, definitely seeing some cooler patterns, some cooler trends that are going to be happening for that time frame. But the good news is it looks like it'll be dry with it as well. So I'm expecting some pretty substantial flow from the Northwest to cool things off just a little bit, but also dry things out. And honestly, I think being able to tell people, hey, there's a period where stuff's going to get to dry out for a little bit is probably the best news I could possibly give you. So that's it. That's a look at the weather for the next, couple of weeks at least, some ideas of what's going on. So I'll fill in with more details as we get them. And I also have a long list of questions I still need to get to. We're going to talk about fog. We're going to talk about upslope and downslope. We got a few things to cover. So we'll get to those this weekend as well. Have a beautiful weekend. And shout out to Pammy Tail for my earrings. I'm wearing these to a science fair today.